Well, good evening and welcome. My name is Rob, aka Lantern Noir, and you're here for Lantern Noir presents a one-shot D&D adventure on this fine Saturday night. I apologize to those that have been following the promo stuff that's gone out over the Twitters. The Raven Armed was supposed to join us and has been suffering horribly from internet and power issues. And if you can't get your ship safely into port, the best thing to do is just head out of the storm, ride it out. And we're hoping to have him back sailing with us well, the next time I can lock him down on a date, because I know how to get a hold of him, and I'm a little relentless. So there's that. But I have amazing players that have agreed to play with me tonight. I am truly the blessed one at the table. And what I'd like to do before we do anything else is let everyone make a round of self introductions for themselves. We're not doing characters yet. And just where we can find you for those that don't know you, and what kind of stuff we find when we go visit you. And we're going to go around the circle on the screen. So we're going to start with the Reluctant Hermit.
Hi everyone, I'm the Reluctant Hermit. I'm a variety streamer that streams Sunday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And on Mondays, I read books to people in my Discord. And I do a lot of fantasy RPGs, and I sing to people, and I try and make sure that your week goes better than it already is.
And then over to Pond.
Hi everyone, I'm Pond. You can find me over at Twitch as That Other Pond. I do D&D as well, and I'm also a variety streamer focusing on Nintendo and RPGs, and I've also been playing a lot of Fortnite. And in my Discord, we actually have a movie night every Tuesday, watching Pokemon Digimon Yu Yu Hakusho right now, so it's a good time.
And who gets to be on your Discord?
Anyone.
Okay. Just clarify.
As long as you're not a jerk.
It's a good rule to have.
Yeah.
Aye. And then for the first time ever at Lantern Noir Presents, Nightlight Night.
Hello, my name is Nightlight Night, or NLK you can call me. You can find me over at twitch.tv/nightlightnight. I'm a variety caster that focuses on story-driven games and, other shenanigans. People might say that I like Dynamite just a little bit too much if I have the option, but very excited to be here. I stream on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays with a little bit of Friday mornings thrown in there as well. But I'm very excited to be here and super, super happy to be and part of the story.
Yay. By the way, too, if you want to track any of these lovely beans down and you missed something in there, the command, it's up on the stream title, RPG Guests, will give everybody's links back to their Twitch accounts, and it should be pretty easy then to track them down. And I'll be honest, if you're not following any of these three, you want to step away anyways for the next couple of minutes because it's going to get weird. And you won't miss anything terrible. Go ahead and do your follows. Have the bells turned on, because you are missing out if you're not seeing these three amazing people. So that being said, some housekeeping stuff. I want to start with the bad news first, and then we're going to do the good news. The bad news is that this morning, my wife and I and my two children had to say goodbye to one of our dear beloved pets. Her name was Serendipity. She has been with us longer. Our relationship with Serendipity predates our marriage. We got her about 3 months into our period of living in sin, and she's been with us since. And this morning, she just kind of gave up her battle with literally everything, and we had to say goodbye. She was an amazing animal, and it was great to have her as part of our family. You'll notice her portrait is below at the bottom of the screen. What I'm going to do, and I'll mention this maybe a couple more times in shorter form as evening goes on, but if you want to be supportive, the best thing you can do, if you've got a little extra to spare, exclamation, I'll do it myself first. What did I do? Let's try that again without the oops. Thank you, Hermit. My computer exploded when I started typing. But Foxy's Fund is a fund that exclusively Cat Veterinary Hospital uses to provide medical care to strays, orphans, or cats with families that just can't afford to have illnesses that can be treated but are sometimes cost prohibitive, because we think every pet should have an opportunity at a good, long, healthy life. So, and the best part, if you follow that link, you can make a donation directly to the fund. Twitch doesn't get a penny. Streamlabs doesn't get a penny. I don't have to process it. Every dollar will go to a pet in need. And I would consider it no small honor to have somebody come to me later this evening and say, what did you do? We have a ton of donations that all came in during this window. Do you know what was up? Because I'm going to totally... I'll flip a coin to see if I play stupid or take credit. I haven't decided yet. So it'll be one of the two. So that's where that's at. On the other hand, I'm also pleased to balance that bad news with the fact that we are now officially sponsored by Sweet Stream Chocolates, which does steampunk era chocolates. So for example, Hermit, quick word association. I talk about the film A Clockwork, and you end it with
Orange.
or would you like perhaps a Clockwork Orange chocolate?
Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, I would.
And my other personal favorite, because chocolate, so that you can consume the elder god before it consumes you. Flavor, it's dark chocolate, caramel, and sea salt.
Delicious.
As it
Give
should
me
be.
the obdobs.
So those will be for our giveaways tonight. We're going to play a little bit before we get to our first giveaway. And I've been told if we get over 20 tickets in the giveaway, I can add, instead of giving away just stickers, we actually will give away some chocolate. But my sponsors were like, don't give it all away. It's hard to ship in the summer. So I have to kind of balance it against all of that. Okay, quick session 0 thing. Tonight's game is a horror game. There are going to be some moments of suspense. This is more for my players than everyone who's here, because if we creep you out too much, you can go away, come back later. But for my players, if we start going into an area that you feel a little bit uncomfortable with, all you have to do is either say something out loud about things looking like a yellow light, like a traffic light, or tell me in the Zoom chat, and we will take whatever's happening and move it off screen. If anything should get to the spot where you feel truly like this is a nerve got struck, you just tell us in chat that there's either in the chat for Zoom or say out loud that we've hit a red light, and the game will stop for a while. We'll throw up the BRB. We'll all get some water, come back, decide if we want to finish the game or not. I'm going to do my best to try to read the room. Sometimes it's hard over Zoom to know. There is a child in tonight's game. I do not want to put actual physical harm on children, but sometimes even a little peril can be uncomfortable. My hard limit is eyeballs. Just as a comparison, anything involving the eyes squicks me out. I get kind of nervous about that. So that's like, for me, if someone started doing something to a person's eyes, I'd call yellow. So don't be afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to admit I've got my soft spot. So that's it for that. Do we have questions mechanically before we start playing some D&D?
I believe,
Hermit does.
good captain, that I'm just double checking. I don't believe my Hexblade actually has Eldritch Blast, which is an interesting thing. So I'm curious if it's because of the type of warlock I am. And I think I'll be all right. I just wanted to double check I'm not missing it somewhere, because I've gone through all of the tabs. And I'm trying to make sure that we don't get interrupted in the middle.
You don't have any first level spells apparently either.
That's not right.
Yeah, go back to your create your character and hit your spell list real quick and fix that while we're laying the scene.
I can do.
I'll trust you to do that while we're getting things up and running for tonight. Although again, too, if you start breaking out the Eldritch Blast, well, nope.
I'll figure it out.
There are places you'll want
it. Laughs maniacally.
No, that should not be terrifying. Terrifying things from DMs include phrases like, well, you're welcome to try.
Not wrong.
And then my personal favorite, Pond, roll me a wisdom save. Don't worry about why or the DC. Just let me know what you get. That's my personal favorite way to scare a PC. Okay. Let's set the scene. Each of you has been traveling for some time on your own individual stories and quests. You've moved along through various things. Everyone's at 3rd level, so no one's a complete rookie. Sometime over the last few months, you've come across a rare book. which means you know the best place to turn it in and either earn some quick coin, some quick credit, possibly get a new opportunity for yourself. You take that book to the infamous Candlekeep, a massive fortress that acts as a library for the entire realm. Tragically, many pilgrims have had similar thoughts, and when each of you arrives at the Candlekeep, whereas normally a guest might be assigned a room to study, you have not been given that opportunity. The keep is completely packed. However, they are able to offer you lodging for the night in the Firefly Cellar, which isn't as bad as it sounds. It's its own small contained library that's simply down underneath one of the towers of the castle. We're going to start introducing the first of you to arrive. And let's see, going around 1, 2, I'll go around it. Is going to be, that's a 1. He's still working. So that'll be Pon's character. So, Pon, would you introduce us to who you're playing tonight and who we see coming down the spiral stairs into the Firefly Cellar?
Yes. I am playing Quara Pinion, a druid human, and she is quite tall. She's almost 6 foot tall and pretty well built from living in the forest and off the forest. And she is relatively quiet as she makes her way down the stairs.
Okay. By the way, can we all see the Jamboard where I posted up? Looking for that last head nod. Okay. So just to be clear, I'm going to highlight on the Jamboard, which I've got up here. This is the entrance. So this is where we all come in. And you can continue down another level to a similar landing. As Quora is led down, I'm assuming the fact that you are entering into the spiral staircase through stone into the earth, there has to be a certain amount of discomfort.
Absolutely.
The sounds of the wilderness quickly fade away. However, rather than being replaced with a cackling of torches or the strong acid smell of oil lamps, you are greeted by collections of fireflies in jars lining the walls. The entire staircase down is lit by fireflies.
Can I free some of them? Or I would like to free some of them.
Absolutely. You turn and start to unscrew the bottom of one of the jars. Your host, a very tall, striking elven woman, pauses on the staircase and glances up over her shoulder with a bit of a grin as you do so. You twist off the bottom of the jar and pull it down, expecting to see this cascade of flies shoot off in every direction. And instead, most of them hover around inside the glass jar. A few of them make their way down to the cap you're holding, and you see that there's a carve-out section in it where there's a bit of water. And they light on it, take a sip, and fly right back up into the glass.
All right. I screw the lid back on because they apparently seem a little happy being in their little container. So that's okay. They're not imprisoned.
Nope. Quite content, actually. Go ahead.
I was hoping to ask the elven woman, why are they so happy in these small containers and crammed and not out in the wild?
She considers that for a moment. It has a bit to do, I think, with their expectations. They have everything they need.
How sad.
Perhaps. But they don't want for food. They don't want for company. They don't want for the opportunity to mate. And as you see, they choose not to fly about, generally. And as she says that you see this blink past her face 2 or 3 times as one just kind of zips along free. And she makes no movement against it other than kind of like out of the corner of her eye, watch it flitter on down in another direction.
Okay. I kind of accept that and continue on my way.
Okay. As you make your way down the stairs, you enter into that large open space. As a point of clarity, each of these partial circles is bookshelves, book stacks, all the way up and down. And then in the middle is a carve out with a small little book lift right there.
Okay.
Your hostess pauses and indicates that this is part of the library, and then escorts you further down to the middle floor, where she invites you to take a seat at that table in the center. A little bit of box text, because I don't want to miss any of these details. And it's actually not badly written. The circular room contains curved dark wood bookcases packed with books of assorted shapes, sizes, and ages. Flowers and ceramic pots line the tops of the shelves, giving the area a sweet fragrance. Alcoves are spaced at regular intervals around the perimeter of the room. 4 of them contain polished bronze statues of bespectacled scholars, and 3 hold overstuffed chairs. In the center of the room, a brass railing surrounds an overlook that gives a view of the lower level of the stacks. Hanging from the ceiling, above the opening in the floor, is an enormous stone sculpture of an open book that looks as though the cover is flapping to keep it aloft.
Can I reach for it?
You can try.
I would love to try to reach for that.
Okay, so you kind of look back up at it, and your hostess agrees to follow you back up the stairs so you can see it more on par. When I say enormous sculpture, I mean 10 feet by 10 feet sculpture of a book. It dominates that open space directly above the opening in the room. Although from this vantage, you can see that the cover, both the cover and the spine, declare the title of the book as "Be Curious."
Be curious. All right. With it being so massive, I take away my interest. It's just something to gawk at.
Oh yeah. There's a little part of you that is disappointed you can't actually see any writing in it. It's just like wavy lines. No one actually tried to chisel out a text on the underside. And as you glance for near, the elf grins and goes, "I don't think I've yet met one who hasn't tried to read it. Perhaps at the next restoration of the cellar, we will have the sculpture updated with a text."
What would it say if you could have something written in it?
She grins. "Someone far above my station would make that decision."
But what would you put in there?
I wouldn't waste my mind energy on deciding on a possibility, as someone above my station will be the one who decides it. Anything I were to pontificate upon or postulate towards would be discarded. Best use my energy for more profitable pursuits.
All right.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe we have another guest. And she smooths her robes and heads up the stairs. It just so happens that after some significant negotiation with a particular guard who seemed incredibly dead set against letting him in, a particular warlock has received entry and has been ushered to a cellar. Hermit, who do we see coming down the spiral staircase escorted by the elven hostess?
See Asamar coming down the stairs, smiling broadly, looking hopeful. a little perturbed that he was stopped at the door. And if anyone's not familiar with an ASMR is essentially a half angel or a plain-touched being who is excited to meet his new friends and to explore this place, but is also a little bit arrogant in some respects. He looks at things a little bit like they are below him, but he does not want people to feel that way.
Excellent. As the player has heard, the Asimir is ushered down into the stacks, is shown the main floor and the book sculpture, and then suggested that you have a seat at the table down below to see if there are anyone else that will be staying in here this evening.
Who else is sitting at the head of the table?
That would be Quar, I believe.
Brilliant. I will take my seat.
Your hostess glances around. Is there anything that either of you might require?
Water.
I would also like some water, please.
Absolutely. And she moves across to a staircase on the far side of the room. So I'll mark this as down to this spot there. And there will be a longer tour later. And she leans over and calls down the stairs. If someone is free, would please bring up a pitcher of water. An older gentleman, human, eventually comes up the stairs looking tired, is the best way to put it. And not the tired of I've had a long day, but the tired of I've had a long several months. Tired. And he has a pitcher of water, and he's holding a couple of cups in his fingers. And he glances over at the elf. I just got her to bed when you shouted down. Thump. Splush. I'm going to go see if I can get her to quiet down again.
Who is her?
He glances over. Ask the one that woke her up.
Interesting.
He shuffles off, and the elf takes a moment. My apologies. He's not usually quite that cross, but he's still adjusting. His daughter, Galeby, joined us after her mother passed a few weeks ago.
That's awful. Tyrion stands up to actually come over and pick up the water, says, let me handle this, and brings it back over the table.
She's a sweet child, though. You'll take to her when you meet her. But
children.
Ebder is... I fear he might be more scholar than father at heart. But he'll find his way. Or perhaps he'll blink and she'll be going off on her first adventure as a young adult. I do confess, I find it difficult to keep up with the human aging process sometimes.
It's a bit odd.
And the elf kind
Is it really?
pauses and as though she's just heard something. Excuse me, I believe there is another guest this evening I need to go greet. And she heads off, kind of floats almost off to the stairs. And when she comes back down the stairs, she is joined by... All right, NLK, it's your entrance. Is there like music we have playing or anything, or?
No. Literally, you just hear the clanking of chainmail and just someone kind of like huffing down the stairs as you see a red-haired, hair is just kind of like really messy halfling in chainmail with a warhammer kind of like over her shoulder. She's just kind of like looking around. Wow. She takes like a giant breath of like the musty air underneath. It feels like home. And she just kind of like tries to keep up with the elf's long legs as she goes down. And as they come upon the table, she kind of looks up at that statue. Hey, how many times has that thing fallen? On people. I want to know. I mean, I can't. Like, that thing's massive.
The elf looks up. I don't believe in my time here it has ever come loose of its chains. Except
Well,
for
it's the
perhaps.
first time for everything, I guess.
No.
I'm not gonna sit under that. And so she puts her all of her stuff, her pack down at the side, and just kind of warily looks up at this giant book. I wouldn't be under there either if I was you.
The elf looks
Tyrion
up.
pulls out.
Go ahead.
Tyrion pulls out a chair away from all the things and says, "Please sit next to me."
You talking to me?
Yeah,
I don't know you. Who are you?
someone who's trying to be polite. Maybe I'll reserve myself for now.
She'll walk over to the chair, just kind of be like, "Nice to meet you. My name's Robin."
Tyrion, nice to meet you as well.
So you couldn't get into the Candlekeep Keep either?
Look at my face. Most people don't let me into buildings.
I mean, that's fair. And what's your name?
Quara looks up, trying to be as disengaging as possible, very startled by the clinking of chainmail and just metal in general. And she deadpans over, and Quara, that is all you need to know.
All right. That's all
Mystery. I
wanna
like
know.
it.
You're tall, though. I like that.
You seem mighty for your size.
That's what they tell me.
The elf takes a moment to take in your exchanges, and you can see as she's processed who's introduced who to who. Everyone has made their rounds of introductions. She nods. If you need anything, I'm afraid I have failed to introduce myself. You may call me Vernier, and I am the primary keeper of the cellar. It is not common for guests of the keep to be housed here, but as I'm certain was made clear to you earlier, space is a bit of a luxury at the moment. I believe that one of our artificers is holding some manner of symposium this weekend,
Oh,
which has I'm not entirely sure. Let's see, what was her name again? Ah, yes, Contessa Mariana Axelovich von Kogsprocket. I doubt that rings a bell.
No.
not in the slightest. What a mouthful. I'll have to hear
You
that a
say
couple more
Sprocket?
times.
Kogsprocket, I believe, is her
Oh,
second family name. Most would just call her Connie. I don't
Oh,
understand
that's easy to
why.
remember.
Well, yes, but
I
it
go by
seems
that too.
rather unfair to break it down as such. But it's not my place to dictate how others wish to be known. Still, as I stated, space is a bit of a liability. And yeah, sorry, third tier, it's not Lillian. She's not promoted that far yet, dude. I know you have hopes. Not there yet. Not there yet. But anyway, and she kind of pulls herself up. If you'd like, I can show you down to the rooms now, or you may enjoy the stacks and the books here in for a bit. Or are you all fully prepared to rest for the evening?
I'm a little bit curious about your library. Do you have anything on spells?
Oh,
Specifically, maybe my profession's spells.
she pauses a moment, and she points at the halfling.
Sorry, it just fell right. Question: why do you have all the creepy crawlies in the jars and stuff? Like, why are there bugs everywhere? I thought that, like, as a library, you should like try to not have bugs because they eat the books. Right.
But what could possibly be more risk to a book than flame?
I mean, but don't you have like magic light stuff?
True. But remember always the stories of the apprentice. Are you familiar with the young man who wished to learn magic from the wise woman of the town?
No,
No.
please.
Oh,
Tell us.
yes. It's one that I was taught at a very young age of it. A young man wanted to learn magic from the wise woman of the town. And she presented him a single match. And he said simply, I will teach you when you can make the match light. If you can master a simple act as that, you are prepared to learn the greater magics of the universe. And the young man spent days, weeks, focusing on that matchstick, trying to grab onto the arcane energies around it to force it to ignite, trying to find the right incantation to bring forth the flame just to light a simple matchstick. And finally he went to the old woman and said, I apparently will never be a great wizard. I can't make the match light. And she took the matchstick back from him and said, indeed, you won't be a great wizard. And she struck it against a brick, and it burst to flame. And she said, because a wizard knows if you do not need magic, you do not use magic.
It's a good parable. I disagree with it somewhat, but it's a good parable.
So you don't need magic. So you use bugs.
You have a gift for taking the eloquent and making it sound not.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And there's no magic here to convince these fireflies to stay within their captive jars?
No, they're raised here, and some never take to the jar, and those are released. Some stay down here, as you'll see periodically. A few will flit by. But they are quite content.
They don't like touch you, do they? They don't like crawl on you when you sleep.
It's just a bug, Robin.
Have
For
you
one,
ever
there's so
had a
much-
bug? No. Have you ever had a bug crawl in your mouth while you asleep? Then you feel like tickling?
I mean,
On
I'm
your
very-
tongue?
Bugs
I'm
are
a very
quite
sound
high in
sleeper.
protein.
I mean, have you ever been in a desert and then locusts fly overhead? They're crunchy at best, and you can kind of imagine that they're potato fritters if you really think about it. But by choice, I don't think most people would enjoy having a bug on them. Though my concern is for one of your stature, bugs are the break in the armor?
Did you just make a short joke?
No.
Did you just call me short? Because I will kneecap you.
Well, I need
Perhaps
those.
because
Please
that's as
refrain.
tall
Yeah,
as
I
she
know
can
you
reach.
need those.
My apologies. It meant no offense meant. I'm still getting used to helping people.
Ah, it's all right. It's all right. I understand. Can be hard.
Yes, well, perhaps it might be better to show you your quarters now. And if you, sir, would like to return to the stacks to do research once you've had a chance to settle your pack, that would be your prerogative.
I'm happy to do so.
If you would follow me, please. And she leads you across the space to that staircase that goes down. And when you get down to the bottom floor, it's a very narrow hallway that runs, if you have any sense of direction, underneath some of the fortifications of the castle itself. And she begins her tour. And I'm going to label the rooms as we go around. She opens the door first into the first room, and this is a kitchen, which she identifies as free for you to use. You do see that there has been some magic employed in that there is an oven, and a quick inspection will confirm that it uses a heat metal spell to warm up panels underneath it if there's anything you should need to prepare yourself.
Question: can Robin reach the oven,
Yes.
the stovetop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Robin's not that tiny, unless you want her to be.
I just want to make sure it wasn't normal people size. She would need a stool, then.
It probably wouldn't hurt then to have a stool if she's going to do any serious cooking.
Fair enough.
But she's not teeny. Let me get this where I can see it better. This is why I miss being able to flip through a book sometimes. 8, 9, 10. 12, 13. Okay, cool. I can remember that. Okay. As she leads you down this hallway, so through here, the first room she identifies has been set aside for Tarian. It features a pair of beds, pair of desks, and 2 small footlockers for you to use. Across the hall from you, she identifies, she states, and this, by the way, is my room. If you should need anything, don't be afraid to knock. I'm more than happy to help you.
Thank you so much.
Stay down here
Pardon?
all the time?
Well, yes.
You ever miss the sun?
Was that a short joke?
No.
I'm still getting used to your intricacies and language. Forgive me.
It seems quite obvious.
What does the sun provide that I don't have here?
So you're like a firefly. I understand.
The books
Never
are
mind.
here. The work is here. I can work undistracted and unencumbered.
Like, doesn't
Sounds
it
like
like
a
mess
dream.
up your doesn't it like mess up your skin or something? Like, do you have to like go out like completely cover up when you go out into the sun?
No.
Because like you'll
Hat.
turn red. Hat?
Hat.
Full body hat?
I mean, that could be arranged.
I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not judging. I'm just asking. What happens like if you're down here so much that your eyes like those creatures that are always in the dark and then they go outside there. Are you like blind? Do you have to wear like
If you were referring to the drow, they adapt. Yes? Right?
I'm asking Vernier.
No, I don't. I mean, I go up to the keep for functions as necessary. I'm simply confused at the professed need to be in the sun.
Fair enough.
I mean,
I was just
fortunately,
wondering how that worked.
you should
know?
only be down here a short time. Assuming, of course, that Miss Contessa doesn't cause any major irreparable damage as part of her symposium. It could happen.
Has that happened before?
I would prefer not to speak of it.
Well, like,
My
hush, hush.
apologies for asking.
Now,
Not allowed.
be aware, next door to me would be where Cthulhu stays. I believe she is asleep for the evening, but this would be her room. And the third down the hall is where we will be placing Robin and Quara, if the two of you don't mind sharing a room this evening.
I'm fine with it. You okay with it?
Will you be taking off that loud metal thing you're wearing? Just the metal part, to clarify.
I mean, to sleep, sure. I mean, I'm not
Okay.
gonna be like wandering around in my pajamas
Of
in
course.
chainmail. You know, it's kind of uncomfy, like when you're trying to lie down, like pokes you.
I can imagine. Then I am fine with this.
Cool.
Okay. As you are walking down the hall, you notice the room that's in the middle. The door is cracked open, and you're positive you see a small hand resting on the door frame as someone's watching you approach.
I just
There's-
push open the door.
You just what?
Push open the
Just
door.
walk up and push open the door.
Tuttle.
Oh, okay. Striding past Vernier, Quara's, what's going on? Boom, door goes open. And a slightly shorter than Robin human girl in white pajamas, white nightgown, kind of glances like up in shock that, boom, there's a person right here. And she looks up for a while, and then she kind of raises up a hand and waves.
Quara raises a hand and kind of waves back. Who is this?
Vernier clears her throat. Galeby, aren't you supposed to be in bed, sweetheart? And she looks over at the elf and then kind of like looks around a few times and then steps back into her room and starts to push the door shut. It's all right.
It must be terribly lonely for her down here. Is she the only one down here?
The only child, yes, I'm afraid so. Her father's still working on arrangements.
Arrangements? What does that mean?
A moment. Galeby, it's all right. Just go back to sleep, sweetie. We won't make any more noise. And the little girl nods her head a few times, and Vernier walks up next to Quara and starts to pull the door shut.
Quara steps out of the way.
She'll be all right. Ebder was not entirely prepared for his daughter to be joining us, but we keep her entertained. She's quite a reader and a bit of a budding artist. And you might have a chance to get to know her in the morning.
That'd be lovely.
By the way, if you should need anything from him, his room is here on the end. The door next to hers. At the end of the hall is Crinkle. You should not have any need to interact with her. I should warn you, if this is going to be an issue, she is a Kenku. Some don't take to them as well as others might. So I just ask that you be patient.
I mean, I can pretty much sleep through anything, so it should be fine.
Well, as long as they don't start squawking at me at all hours of the night, we'll be fine.
As she kind of like lets you into the room that she's identified as yours, Vernier nods. Some find the Kenku's inability to speak on their own to be a bit off-putting. But Crinkle has been around enough that she has picked up most of the phrases she needs for communication. And she's
sorry,
a very...
Sorry, is it Crinkle?
Crinkle.
Crinkle.
It's a playful name for one of that nature.
She's a good soul. And very, very talented scribe.
Oh, really? What sort of things do they write?
Well, generally whatever she looks at.
Oh, fair enough.
But the ability to quickly mimic that is natural to her has quite a good calling when it comes to scribing additional copies of a tome. I think it might be something in the nature of mimicry that define them. Now, will any of you be needing anything else?
I'm good.
No, I think I'll take my leave this evening.
I'm fine, thank you.
And she nods a bit. I'm going to go do a bit more research before I call it a night. I think I have some more work to attend to. But if you need anything, I'll be up in the scriptorium. It's off the main floor. You'll be able to find me. It's the north room. The DM said,
Thank
double
you.
checking. Nailed it. Okay. Excuse me. It's not a big map. I still have to kind of make sure I get everything in the right places. And as she goes off, she's humming under her breath. And then she disappears around the corner.
Well, I'm gonna turn in. It's nice meeting you. Dude,
Nice to meet you.
see you in the morning, I guess.
Rest well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My apologies for earlier.
Don't worry about it, dude. Happens a lot.
Pond, can you roll me a real quick perception check for Quara?
Oh, yeah. Perception.
We should roll some dice at some point in the evening, shouldn't
Yeah.
we? I mean, come on. This isn't
Come
Kids
on.
on Bikes.
First roll.
It's not all storytelling.
Could be better.
Okay. 10. 10 is serviceable. There, now I can actually use my mouse again. Ah, much better. Okay. You see before it happens as someone slides a small doll into your hand as you're standing there. And you glance down at Galeby standing next to you. And her hair is kind of loose. It's half covering her face, and she smiles. You know, in case you need her to sleep.
I crouch down so I'm more level with her, and I kind of pat the doll on its little head, and I say, "Thank you very much. Are you sure you won't be needing her?"
Oh, I have others. I get lots of dolls.
And she kind of hums and thought at that and says, "My room is right here. If you need something better than a doll, please let me know."
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
And she scampers back into her room, and the door starts to swing very quickly, and at like an inch from like slamming, it stops, and then closes with a click.
I go into my room.
Now I need you to give me a wisdom save. How do we do? Natural 1.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Now here's the fun part. Because we do encourage people to participate in the chat. The game starts off every session with 200 pages in the Book of Fate. 100 pages can be turned into a reroll, and you guys can decide as a team, or just I'm re-rolling because I don't like my roll. You can burn 100 pages at a time. For there to be more pages in the Book of Fate, all we need is for people to cheer, and the cheer goes into the Book of Fate, and you have more opportunities. So it's all entirely up to them. I also give mass props to Intern Azteki, who's one of my players in my Sunday night game, because not only is he here all the time playing with me, he also knows the best time to do crazy things like embarrass me with a pile of gift subs, because he's been waiting. I'm willing to bet dimes to dollars for that scene to wrap up before he hit it. So thank you for that, and thank you for the ongoing support. It's so great to have you as one of my players and as a supporter of the channel, because it is not a small deal to have that support. It is a lot of fun, and it keeps me coming back. It keeps me thinking I want to keep doing this because I like doing it, and it's fun. So, speaking of legendary, I'm not saying nothing yet. Is anyone else doing?
I'm looking very concerned at our druid and saying, "You just took a random object from someone you don't know. I don't care if it's a child. Have you looked around? Are you all right?"
I'm fine, as far as I know. She's a child who is clearly distressed from being in this horrific place. There is nothing wrong with this.
If you're gonna sleep with that, it has to face the wall. I do not want to wake up and that thing is staring at me from your bed.
So
Okay?
ensure that it will be just on the nightstand looking at you to protect you, as it was its intention.
Carrion slides back away from everybody, goes into his room, and starts shifting some of the furniture to block the door.
If you want that little girl to get her doll back, I would definitely not recommend that. I have been known to sleepwalk and be destructive. So
Definitely going to be locking my
I do
door a bit
believe
more
that.
thoroughly then.
So just do it with that as you will. I do ask that you turn the doll at least so it's not looking at nobody.
If it brings you comfort, and hopefully a bug will not crawl into your mouth at night.
Hey, I was gonna remove my chainmail. Maybe I won't do that anymore.
All right. Perhaps
I'm
I should
just
sleep
saying,
outside.
tall lady.
You're allowed to call me tall, but I am not allowed to call you short. So I do not understand this.
You know, it's just the way of the world.
Mortals have very strange humor. I'm going to bed.
I feel like there's some reference to punching up in here somewhere, but it's eluding me. You know, there's something comedy, something always punch up, never down, something.
But even with all of that, Robin will remove her chainmail shirt and everything as she's getting ready for bed.
Sorry
And
that I'm
Quora
short
will
on
chase them all
quips.
away.
Okay. Cool beans. And by the way, thank you guys for all of that. I can't not call out the fact that you are an amazing community, and it's so fun to have the support tonight as we keep going. I will definitely be doing a giveaway soon-ish. Well, we got a break coming up anyways, to get some water in, and we'll do a quick giveaway while that's happening. So I've got some things I'm looking at to see how that gets timed out. But thank you guys so much for the support. Meanwhile, as you start to go to sleep, Quora can't help but find herself humming a lullaby. And it's almost like as she kind of cuddles with the doll and settles in to get some sleep. It's just like right there. By the way, and okay, I would love if Robin would do me a tiny little favor.
Yep.
And roll me a wisdom save.
A wisdom save, okay?
Yep.
Three.
3.
Go team.
Go team.
And without even realizing you're doing it, you're humming along as you drift off to sleep.
Fair enough. Also, I did have a question. Is there any sort of light source in this room, or is it just completely black?
Every room has a set of lamps that are glass jars with fireflies, and then they have a shade that you can twist to kind of turn it off.
Okay.
That is assuming, of course, that Quora has not just released them all into the room. In which case, no, there is no turning off the lights tonight.
She did not, only because
Thank
she
you.
tried that
I
already.
appreciate it. You can do it in the morning when I leave.
Yes, I will be trying to free all these fireflies later.
I understand. I just don't like them crawling on me, man. I get itchy. You just constantly feel like one's crawling on your arm. But you may like that, which is fine. I just don't like it.
Yes. You do you, I do me. Yes.
Exactly.
That.
Mutual respect.
Exactly. I think I do like you. Yes.
I like you too.
That is nice.
Happy thoughts as you drift off into sleep. The next morning, you awake whenever you do. I'm going to assume that neither Robin nor Quora is going to sleep too long. One, because sleeping in is a surefire way to get killed on the road, which Robin would be conditioned against letting happen. And two, it's hard to feel truly comfortable underground, which would also cause Quora to stir relatively early. You're not even sure you realize it as you get up and start your morning stretches. But there is still that odd, that tune. You both catch yourselves humming together.
I have this song in my head. I think it was what Vernier, the elf lady, sang before. Do you know this song? I feel like it's like on the tip of my tongue of like what song this is from, but do you know the name of it?
I am unfamiliar with the name of it, but I do agree that it feels familiar.
Yeah,
I also assumed it's just very catchy for some reason.
it's true.
As you peek
I
out,
don't know it either.
you peek out the door into the hallway, and you can see that Galeby is also up already. Her door is open, and there's light coming out from it.
I'd like to return the doll.
Oh, did you sleep okay?
I lie. Yes, I slept wonderfully, thank you. Did you sleep okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you want to play before breakfast?
Well, it is always important
Come
to
play.
eat.
And she boom, has your hand.
Okay.
And she leads you over to a dollhouse. And
I place the doll in the house.
okay. She plops down next to it, and she goes, "Which library should she go in?" And you look at the dollhouse, and the entire dollhouse is nothing but little rooms of libraries.
Well, which is your favorite library?
And she kind of looks down. I wish she had other furniture, but everyone keeps sending me bookcases.
Well, we can turn a bookcase into furniture.
Can we?
Yes. And Quara pulls out a dagger and is ready to wood carve any of these.
At that, you hear a cough behind you. And a very tired old man is standing in the doorway. Galeby, we should get some breakfast. Come now.
Who are you?
Apologies. Ebger, I'm Galby's father.
Robin at this point has finished getting ready and has kind of like come out into the hallway and is overhearing this.
Works for me. Is Tarian coming out at this point, now that he can hear people in the hall?
You hear the scramble of a lot of furniture being moved around. Some miners swearing and grunting like, "Can't sleep in this bloody place. Excuse me!" And you see the door creak open, and the warlock stumbles out into the hallway and says, "I shouldn't have put that chest in front of the door. How's everyone doing this morning?"
Doing all right? You sleep okay?
Sleep?
Yeah, it's what you're supposed to do. Unconscious for a couple hours.
Oh! When
Yeah.
my eyes are closed and I lay
Yeah.
still. Yeah, I did that, I think.
Uh-huh. You're an odd one, aren't you? I like you. But you're a little odd.
I just
okay.
like helping people even though I'm not very good at talking to them.
That's fair.
I can sing and dance though, and
Oh, really?
Please do not.
no, not
please
this early
do.
in the morning.
Oh, okay. Fair.
No, not this early in the morning. There's a symposium above us anyway with wizards. Oh, wizards.
They do seem kind of stuck up, don't they? Them and they like
I always
magic.
think that
like-
they're the masters of magic.
Which is ironic because they don't know anything of real magic, but
I mean, spell plague, their fault. I won't get into that.
Ebger
I don't know
kind
nothing about that. They seem like stuck up pricks, that's all I gotta say. They like walk around me and their robes go over my head and I'm just like, it's not great. They're rude.
Ebger's going to kind of take this all in. Yes, come. And he takes Galby's hand, and you can tell she's a little torn, and then she kind of pulls in tight to her father, and they make their way down the hall towards the kitchen. At this point, you notice that you're starting to smell what's in the kitchen, and it is just all of the amazing smells of the morning. Fresh bacon, potatoes, perhaps some steaks.
That Robin just books it.
You
Books it towards the smell of food.
ooh, food, poof, and there goes the halfling.
Pretty much.
Fair enough. Around the table in the kitchen are gathered Vernier, a Kenku that you presume must be the one called Crinkle. There is also make sure I get this right because this is a race I'm not totally familiar. Tabaxi, which are the cat people, who nods her head at you as you come in. And then Ebder and Galeby also file in as well and start to take a look around. And Galeby's eyes are like saucers. So, why is there so much food this morning? And she looks up at her dad. Did somebody else die? He's like, no. I'm sure it's nothing like that. And then he pauses when he glances over at Vernier, because Vernier is not looking pleasant. And she stands up. I'm glad you're all here. I have to tell you something quite severe. I encourage you all to sit.
Robin has like a mouthful of bacon at this point. She's like reading the room. It's like slowly sits down.
I'm afraid to tell you, I've had to seal the cellar. None of us can leave. There seems to be an infection. And we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Ooh. My gosh.
As we head off, I'm going to fire up the giveaway. It's going to run for 30 minutes, so you have time to get into it. It is for a collection of... We're doing the stickers. So you've got Sweet Steam and Lantern Noir, and exclamation point crit will get you into it. If we get 20 or more entries, we're going to upgrade the giveaway from stickers to a small gift pack from Sweet Steam Chocolates. But the rule there is it has to break 20 people for me to do that. So, and there'll be reminders every few minutes. I'm going to take a quick stretch and refresh my water. I think everyone else here will see y'all back here in 5 minutes to find out what they're infected with. We'll see you then. Okay, so we're still here and you're still here, and that's awesome. And thank you again for that massive hype train before the break. The hardest thing for me, from what I know about streaming, is I know I'm supposed to be much more reactive to this, and it's hard because part of why you're here is because you know there's awesome D&D going on, and I have to split my attentions. So I will take the pauses as a time to say, "You are epic, you are awesome." I'm going to keep doing this, and I love the support for me as a streamer, but tonight, if you can support Foxy's fund, that will be even more important to me, because that's going to help other pets like our Serendipity that passed this morning. She actually, I have a lot of downer stories about her, so I'm going to keep balancing them out. But this one I have to share. She was found by a group of teenagers on the median of an interstate highway, not far from where my wife was working at the time. And she was found next to a pillowcase. And so the thought perhaps is that someone had abandoned her on the road. And they brought her in and said, "We can't take care of her, but we don't want her to get hurt." And they brought her to the vet's office my wife was at. And I met her, and I fell in love with her. And I said, "This cat's coming home with us." And she was with us for 20 long years. So I keep thinking about other pets that end up where they are, and where Serendipity was, and her name comes literally because she was a lucky accident that she fell into our laps. And there are other stories about Serendipity. One involves a particular pharmacist who was really confused when we had to get a prescription filled, and the fact that we got a letter from a law firm to her. We'll see if we can work those in later tonight. So there's that there. Thank you again to everyone who's here to play with me, because as awesome as everyone thinks I am just putting together these amazing ingredients. No meal is nearly as good as the ingredients that go into it. And that's the key. It doesn't matter how good the chef is. If you don't have great parts to work with, you're not going to get a feast. And I have amazing ingredients for tonight's stream. So speaking of the stream, let's play some D&D. We left off before the break with you being told that you've been locked in to the basement. Vernier takes a moment to let you all process her statement, and then continues.
Robin very slowly spits out the bacon into her hands. Just like,
no, the food is fine. The concern is that there seems to be a particular tune that has become a bit infectious.
Robin will look at Cora.
Eye contact,
Yep. Well,
according to the stories that I have uncovered last evening and confirmed via writing with others above, this particular infection has proven to be very contagious. And in the cases of those that have contracted it, the outcomes have not been positive. Therefore, for the good of the keep, as well as the surrounding community, the decision was made to seal the cellar until either a cure could be found without, or the curse could run its course within.
Curse? Wait a second. You said curse? So it's not just an infection from bed bugs or whatnot. It curse?
Well, I'm not entirely sure how else I would categorize it. I can't think of any particular disease that's spread via singing, which leads me to conclude that it must be some kind of curse, some sort of perhaps magically driven occurrence.
I mean, y'all know so much more about magic than I do, but where do you think this is coming from? Do you have any idea?
I'm afraid I don't.
What are you all saying?
I mean, no one's singing. No one's singing right now, Tyrion.
Speaking of which, all three of you roll a wisdom check.
Even when I'm covering my ears?
Oh, yeah.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom save.
Okay.
Yes, you get your bonus from your save.
17.
And as Robin says, no one's singing it, you glance across the table and there is Quora
Robin plugs her ears too.
And everyone kind of glances across at her, and you, in that moment of shock, you're able to stop yourself. Ebder's going to kind of pick himself up. I'm going to go have a conversation with Galeby. Please excuse us. I don't believe we need to be here for the rest of this.
Now, wait just 1 second. That tune, you must know something about it if you're so perturbed.
Yeah, Veneer, we heard you singing that tune yesterday before we went to bed, like after you showed us our rooms. So,
Yes. Veneer will nod. Ebder will look at Tarian. I don't know anything more than you do, but I would prefer my daughter not be exposed to a conversation where one speaks of a curse running its course.
Fair.
Come, I think someone sent out a new bookcase for your dollhouse, sweetie.
Why bookcases? Hold on. I know this is important, but she doesn't want bookcases. Why more? Why? I need to know.
absentmindedly, Robin starts eating the bacon again.
Is it any good?
Ebder goes,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't ask for anything,
Awesome.
but it seems to be that when one thinks of a child's dollhouse, at least around here, they think it needs a bookcase to be complete. He leans it forward a bit. Trust me, I would much prefer they communicate a bit and provide some more diversity of furnishings.
Quara kind of sits back and starts listening to everyone, but whittling a little piece of wood she found.
It was a bookcase. It's about to become a... We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah.
Which is sweet of you. So, there was a question for Veneer in there. What was it?
Oh, that you must know something about this
Ah.
because we heard you singing last night as you walked away.
Yes, I do appear to have been infected myself as well, and it is taking a great deal of my concentration to keep it in check. I have had a chance to do a small bit of research, but there isn't much available that I have found yet, nor am I confident there is much within the cellar. I can, however, share with you that it has occurred once before. According to the stories, about 600 years ago, a particular bookseller arrived here at the keep, and he was infected with a singing madness. He was, I'm finding out now, sent into this cellar so they could research a cure with one of the avowed who had also contracted it. I do not know of their fates.
Like, did he get it from a book? Or, like, he was just infected when he came down? Like, did you know that do you think that we were infected? And that's why we got sent down here?
I don't believe anyone identified you as being ill prior to being sent, which makes your appearance last evening terribly unfortunate.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
You just see Tyrion start tearing at his own clothes a little bit and making wedges of like cloth and stick them in his ears.
That may help for a time. I'm hoping that the researchers above will find some sort of cure or treatment to help contain it before it becomes any worse for anyone.
If you have communicated with the researchers above who are supposed to be the ones that free us, is there potential that they've been exposed as well and us being down here is completely pointless?
Do they know?
That seems to make sense to me.
They are aware letters have been left and recovered. We were never...
So it's not like a touchy-feely thing. It's like...
We're not entirely sure how it's transferred, and the hope is that mere parchment is insufficient to carry whatever the particular Milady might be.
Wait, Cora, when did you first start noticing it in your mind?
After Veneer had walked away and I was getting ready to head to my quarters for bed.
There were things that happened in between then and then. Do you remember the doll?
I do recall the. Are you?
Really?
Hey, man.
That doll was creepy.
Hey,
That
man.
doll was
Hey, my
super
dude.
creepy. And then I started singing it. Tyrion's not singing it yet. That doll was in our room, and now we're both singing.
I'm not saying that the child is at fault.
Oh, no. We gotta burn the dolls.
Do you want to start a fire underground in a sealed room?
Okay. And then Robin will take out her like warhammer that's been like in her bag. I mean, we can do other things with it instead.
Are you inferring to smash dolls that are made of cotton? And well, you know what? At this point, I don't care what it is, but I don't think we should start destroying a child's playthings without investigating a little further. That's the most rational thought I've had all day.
I mean, my brothers did it to me, and look how I came out. I was fine. I'm fine.
Wait, they destroyed your toys?
I mean, when you have like 7 siblings, it
Well, that's
happens.
no excuse. You should talk to somebody about that.
I mean,
Well, I'm not good for that. Sorry. I don't understand, but I know it's not good.
I mean, again though, smashing one doll, if it's cursing everyone. I say, in the balance of good versus evil, you can get another doll, is all I'm saying.
I mean, I won't say no to watching a show of a halfling smashing something with a mallet. That
Thank
sounds fun.
you. I'm very good at it. I've had a lot of practice.
I do believe that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, if I understand it's a song, is there any way that we can... I mean, as the bits of things fall out of my ears, this is not working. Is there any way that we can protect ourselves that we know of? Is anyone familiar with anything like this? Like,
Vernier will consider that. I think, as of now, I'm finding that if I focus, I can keep the song at bay.
What do you focus on?
Work, for the most part, has been very beneficial.
Oh.
When did the song come to you at first?
I first noticed I was humming it yesterday.
maybe we shouldn't talk about it specifically. If it's all the same to you, I'm going to go sit in my room for a moment and ponder things.
Would you like to bring a doll with you?
No. No dolls.
I mean, maybe the furniture can help you this time. We heard you
I
moving
might as
it.
well lock myself in a box now. Just wait for this all to blow over. Can't infect me if I'm in a box.
Well, you're a magic person, right? Can you make yourself small? Like putting yourself in a box?
No, my magic is for making problems go away.
Well, here's
This
a
is a problem.
I
This
mean,
should be your wheelhouse, Tyrion.
but problem is loosely defined as unsavory folk who get in the way and make things challenging. I'm not very good at fighting things that are just there. That's unfortunately.
As you start to talk about breaking up, the Tabaxi and the Kenku will also take their leave. Both head back to their respective rooms to sort of mull this over and decide what it is they intend to do. Varnier will hang with you for but a moment to answer any questions, and her intention is to return to the scriptorium to work, hoping to clear her head of this. By the way, delay on it, but thank you so much, Grace a lot for bringing in your group and hanging out with us and bringing us the Raiders. Quick recap. These three amazing adventurers have found themselves locked in a cellar at the infamous Candlekeep Library. The reason they're locked in is it's been discovered that there is some sort of infection tied to a very catchy children's tune that they all find themselves humming. And the concern is if they were to get out, so would whatever the curse is, and it would spread. The doll thing, you'll have to ask in chat for a catch up on what's going on there. And thanks to an amazing hype train from earlier, there is a giveaway going on, ! Crit. We'll get you into it. Right now, it is for a collection of Lantern Noir and Sweet Steam stickers. And if we get enough entries, we get to upgrade it to a small chocolate gift pack. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, Vernier's going to take stock of the three of you and say, for what it's worth, in our last communication, a collection of foods was brought down to help ease some of the stress of being here. Hopefully, whatever this is will either pass or be cured or whatever needs to happen before too long.
Well, I'm not dying down here.
I saw and understand and respect the fact that you did not say that we're going to be murdered. However, I saw it. I heard it. I don't appreciate it.
I would like to say that won't happen. However, unfortunately, I have no record of what occurred the last time this particular disease was noted within the halls.
Where's a cleric when you need one?
I mean, so you said that you're going to the scriptorium or whatever. Can we come and help? Maybe find would that even be down here?
Yes. Oh yes, you're more than welcome to join me.
You have no public records that would indicate it just happened and no one knows.
I feel like it's kind of a big thing. I feel like it's kind of a big thing.
Especially for an establishment that hosts symposiums and guests. It would be bad publicity.
Well, remember, the last infection was somewhere in the vicinity of 600 years ago.
That's not so long ago.
Well, I've been told it is for humans.
Oh.
And confirm that.
Can confirm. But yes, and as I understand, the infected, an avowed, and the bookseller were quarantined here, and unfortunately, I believe neither survived. The specifics of that, unfortunately, have not been recorded, as the two people witness to what happened to them both succumbed to the illness.
That means we... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I have no idea what's going on.
As do I. So that could imply that they died, for example, because they ran out of food or water, or because they were stuck in a dungeon for way too long. This is, as far as we know, it is only a tune, and you have no understanding of what it actually does or if it can actually harm people. I would like to leave.
Well, she pauses as you're going down the hall together. I understand and respect that. But to my knowledge, none that have been identified as having caught the singing curse have survived the experience. And it would be best, think of it, perhaps this is an offering. If nothing tragic has occurred in the next day or two, and we are able to clear our heads of the tune without any particular challenges, then perhaps this was all for naught. And I assure you, the keep will reimburse you fairly for the time that has been taken from you.
Just came here to deliver a book, man. None of this. Okay. So.
Anyone know any of the songs?
So to get that one song out of our heads?
Blunt the knives, bend the forks. Anyone know that one?
I
No.
thought you said you were a performer.
No,
He
I
did say he
mean,
could sing.
That. Yes, that.
Give me a performance check. And okay.
I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. You're on your own. I'm sorry, my friends. I'm gonna go into my room again.
As you're heading off, can you really quick roll that wisdom save again? Now that you're singing something.
It's
Okay, good.
working.
Oh, good. Nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened. Yeah, it's hard to watch Reluctant Hermit pretend he's not good at singing. That's tough. Because we all know better.
All right. I think at this point, Robin is absolutely convinced that the doll has something to do with it. So she is going to march down to Gelby's room and like fling open the door.
Cora is definitely following just to laugh when it's not the doll because she is very convinced it's not.
Okie dokie. You fling open the door to Galby's room, and you see a little girl sitting drawing pictures. She has a stack of parchments and a collection of pigment crayons that she's working her way between, and periodically she smears one with a finger. And she looks up in kind of alarm as you burst in on her.
Hey, sweetheart, that's a really nice picture. You go after that. You look like it's a good career path for you. However, we're gonna need that doll that you gave this absolutely wonderful tall person right here.
Oh, thank you.
Can Tyrion hear this from near in his room?
Sure.
You want to touch the doll again? Are you insane?
I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna figure something out.
Hammer happy halfling.
Third tier, can you throw that in the quote list, please? I tried it earlier and the command didn't work. Because I also wanted to grab the, you need to talk to someone else. So if you can, I tried the command, it didn't work for me. I think I did it wrong. So there's the hammer happy halfling.
Happy halfling.
Hammer happy halfling. Yes, you guys got it. So anywho, and Azteki had the other one. If you can remind him what he said, he was clever. Okay. So meanwhile, yeah, you head over to the hermit. Did both of them? You head over to her desk and she bends down and picks up the doll and offers it up. You have a chance.
Whoa. Do you have like a pillowcase or something? It's nothing about you, sweetheart. I'm getting weird vibes from the doll.
Quara takes the doll and is like, here.
You are a brave person.
As you're standing over Galby's desk, you look down at one of the drawings she made, and it shows the picture of you can see water across the top, and there's a stick figure of a boy underneath the waves, and he's got both of his hands over his throat.
Who's seeing this? Sorry. Is it both of us?
The two of you. Yeah, it's on her desk. That's what she's been drawing.
Well, that's disturbing.
Who is this boy?
And Galby goes, I don't know. It's just something that came to me, so I drew it. Do you like it?
It is interesting. May I see more of your drawings?
Sure. She shuffles through some of the papers and finds a few more that she's done recently with some that have smudgers and stuff on them from the pigment crayons. One of them shows a man who's one of his feet is missing, and looks like red colors coming off of it. And there's another one that's a very rough, either maybe it's a wolf, maybe it's a horse, maybe it's a dog, probably a dog. And it has a hand in its mouth.
Robin is officially creeped out now.
All of these pictures also have a big black cloud over the top of the page.
Quara points towards the cloud and asks, are these dreams? Where do these, you say they come to you? What does that mean?
I was just drawing and I thought, oh, this will be interesting, and I drew it. I don't know where it came from. Is it bad?
Taryn,
Am I in trouble?
You're not in trouble.
No.
You're saying, but like nothing inspired it. Like you didn't see a picture, or maybe read it in a book. Can you read? I don't
Yes.
know about. Oh, you can.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Oh, yes. Yes. And she looks down at her knuckles and kind of kringles her hand a couple of times. Yes, I can very much read.
That's awesome. Good for you.
can Taryn come out and start like peeking into the room? Everything all right?
Can you and your skills decipher any of these?
They take me for a wizard? I don't study things. I make things go boom.
Well, you
That
can't
is
make
admirable.
this song go boom, so can you do anything about this?
He could make the doll go boom.
I mean,
Can you make it levitate? So nobody aside. I mean, I guess Cora's already touching it. So rest in peace. But you know, could you make the doll go boom?
I don't think Gelby would like that very much. You're a very sweet human child, but why do you have so many dolls?
Just cuz? She looks
Where do
real
they
awkward.
come from?
Pa says they send them to me as gifts because they think I'm lonely.
They?
Well, he says there's an awful lot of people that live up in the keep, and they want to make sure that I'm not lonely.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
That's why I have all the bookcases in my doll house. They think my dolls should have things to read.
I mean, just because they like books doesn't mean you should. Have you been told that you can be anything you want?
That's true.
Pa says it all the time. I can do whatever I want. I can study literature. I can study archaeology. I can study anthropology. I can study biology. I can
Have
study...
you considered making music?
Oh, yes. I can study music theory. I can study music composition.
Don't
I
have
can
to
study...
study anything. Have you seen the sun?
Yes.
Ever?
Yes.
When?
The sun is part of geology. The sun is part of
Oh, no.
climatology. The sun is part of heliology. The sun is...
Wait.
You're a brilliant little girl.
You are incredibly smart. I don't know half of those words that you just said. But about the sun, though, like, you've been
Oh, yeah.
outside.
We go... Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure we're not having, like, that you need help. You know, just...
Pa makes sure I get out, and there are other kids I sometimes play with that come to the keep. But I don't mind
that's
being
nice.
down here. It's quiet, and I can draw and read.
And Taryn looks at the drawings. What is this all about?
They're just things that came to me. Am I in trouble?
You're
You are
not
not-
in
No.
trouble.
No.
Okay.
But when you say came to you, like, were you just, like, sitting here and, like, looking at the wall and
Well,
you
I
just,
was
like...
thinking, and then I started humming a bedtime rhyme, and then I started drawing.
What were you humming?
Well, you know.
Okay.
mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
The-
By the way,
Tyrion runs out of the room.
all three of you give me a wisdom save.
Help.
Now, with fun part, a little bit of side thing here. The book says these are supposed to be Constitution saves because it's a concentration check. No. No, I don't care how healthy you are. This is bad.
Also, I have a +5 to my wisdom, and I'm still doing.
Oh no!
Are you sure?
No.
Are you absolutely sure? Think of it this way. According to the law of averages, over a large number of rolls, your average will be 11 or be 10 and a half. So, if all of your rolls now are 5s and you roll a lot of dice tonight,
There's hope for me.
unfortunately, that also only applies to long-term odds. Short-term odds are completely random.
Thank you.
So she starts.
Apparently,
Oh,
running away helps.
Okay, never mind. Give that one more quick roll, Pond. There's a channel point reward to force an immediate reroll.
Thank you.
It is on a decent timer, so it doesn't get abused. Okay, 12 will
Just
hold.
a little bit better.
12 will hold it off for now, barely. Like there's a moment where you actually grab your mouth. It's like, oh crap, I'm doing it, and that thought pushes the song out of your head. But the rest of you can actually. It's not so much like normally like a DM will say, oh, roll wisdom save, and if you pass it, you don't notice anything. That's not what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
You found yourself, all three of you, bobbing your head with her and starting to hum along, and then all of a sudden go, oh, I better not let that happen. And you're able to, crunch it before it goes any further.
Does she keep singing it?
If you shush her, she'll stop, and then she'll get that really sheepish, like, oh, am I in trouble look. I mean, pretty much she's been either like happy and friendly with you or looking at you like you just used all three of her names in their entirety.
Right.
She's somewhere back and forth. And for the record, really quick, this is the published Avenger Shemshime's bedtime rhyme in the Candlekeep Mysteries. It came out in March. It is. I cannot recommend it enough for quick. I need an adventure. I want to do it, and there it is in the chat. You have some more time to look over her drawings as she considers where she's at and starts glancing at the door meaningfully, like maybe she should not be here right now because you're making her uncomfortable.
Robin is going to grab the picture with the man missing a foot,
Mm-hmm.
and she is going to take it and, gently, not like rip it out, but just kind of like gently take it and then turn around and walk out of the room to go try to find the dad.
Okay. That's perfect. You come out and, don't worry about asking. If I'm at a good stop, I'll answer chat. You come out into the room, into the hallway, and you see Ebder standing like by the kitchen, and he's coming towards you, and then all of a sudden his eyes just start to kind of like open widely, and he starts humming along, and then he starts sort of singing the notes. Dun 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 dun.
I have
Dun,
nothing
dun,
I
dun,
can
dun.
throw at
Oh!
him. Can I throw my shield? Just not to hurt him, but just kind of like to bonk him.
Yes, yes, you can. Roll,
Just to distract him.
roll me an attack roll with whatever ranged weapon you have on your character sheet. I think you
Because I have a
can
crossbow.
roll that attack roll. We're gonna use because that has your built-in bonuses for ranged weapons.
Okay.
I'm assuming yes to startle him.
Oh no. It's a nat 1.
Okay. Well, you do have a couple rerolls in the bank, or you can just let your shield go flying past him.
She'll go flying.
Fair enough.
She just tries to frisbee it, and it just goes completely wide.
Bam, bam! It ricochets off the. It's like the the goofs scene from Avengers. The shield just sort of ricochets everywhere it's not supposed to go.
Yep.
And he continues with the rhyme completely undeterred, and then he starts into words. See the mothers crying, wait, forgotten husband
Tyrion
sleeping
blows
here.
up the hallway with a eldritch blast in the hallway to make a loud noise. I don't want to hear anyone singing besides me.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Aha.
That seems reasonable. Nope, he's still going. With one swing she took his feet, with another she took his ear. Does the shadow have a name? Shemshime, Shemshime, causes grief a voice of blame. Shemshime, Shemshime, does the shadow
I'm
have
gonna
a
punch
name?
him. I'm gonna punch him.
Okay.
If I can.
Here, yeah.
If it's too soon.
No.
then that's fine.
Gelby, hide under the bed. Something's very wrong outside.
Yep. The halfling rushes up and just balls up a fist. You can roll an unarmed strike. You shouldn't miss.
12.
Bam! And just like right up under his chin, and he collapses back on the ground, out like a light.
Sorry. She's like looking around.
Good hit. Good.
She like, I didn't know what else to do. He kept singing. I mean,
Aaron shakes his hand going, I shouldn't blow things up just randomly. Can we gag him?
I have a sock. I don't think he wants that in his, I don't think he wants that though.
You might deserve it at this point.
But then I have to go without a sock and I don't have any extra. Do you have any extra socks?
I
You're
don't-
tall. Do you have any
we have rooms full of pillowcases. Let's just gag him and tie him up.
as long as we're gagging him and not like smothering him,
Oh no, I don't want to kill someone. That's
Okay.
someone's father.
Okay.
I would like to explain to Galby that this is not going to hurt her father. We are doing this to protect him right now. I know it seems very scary.
Daddy needs to go night-night right now.
And Cora also gives her the little horse that she whittled in breakfast, maybe.
Okay. She takes the horse. It's a nice horse. Are you gonna hurt me?
No, I promise not.
Why do you think we're gonna hurt you?
She kind of blinks at you, and then she leans out her doorway and looks.
That was not my fault, okay?
It's called an assisted nap, dear.
He was really tired.
He was
He
very
asked me
tired.
to do it. You just didn't hear it. I promise.
If you want him to sleep well, Gelby, we could use the doll to keep his mouth from singing. That was a bit on the nose, wasn't it?
Just a little bit, Darian.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So you've got him out. Things have calmed down a bit, and for the most part, you've been able to kind of keep the song at bay. What would you like to do for investigation at this point?
Oh, wait. I did want to actually put him in one of the trunks that's been available to us and lock it.
Okay. You drag him
And
in,
just say, get. Yeah.
drag him into
It's
your
going to
room,
assist him in.
put him in the trunk, and lock it.
I feel like this is
Big,
I'm gonna be honest,
bright smile on my face. I'm helping.
I feel.
I feel it's a little overboard. In
I
my
agree.
personal opinion.
It's just a coffin.
You had to
That's-
to call it that in front
He's
of
not going to die. It's like a vampire bed.
We'll assume that
you're not
Gilby is back in her room with the door shut at this point. I'd hate to think this is happening in front of her.
Definitely
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
happening.
Robin is gonna go pick up her shield.
Okay.
Did I say something? What did I do?
You just don't normally lock people in coffin trunks.
He's a problem.
He is a problem, but a room would suffice, not like coffin. Especially if we need to ask him questions later. It's gonna be really awkward. He's gonna wake up and be like, "Hey, why am I in a coffin?" And we have to be like, "Well, actually, sir, we so sorry. We had to punch you in the face and then gag you with a doll and then put you in a coffin." It's just gonna be very awkward to explain it later on. You know?
I'm still getting to understand some of your niceties. I understand, though. Just next time I'll ask if I should do a thing, maybe.
Fair enough.
Is that better? I'll ask more questions, do less acting?
I mean,
Yes.
unless you just feel really passionate about
I'm
something.
always passionate about doing things.
Oh, okay.
We've established that.
I mean, passion is good. Passion is always a good thing. Okay, we really need to figure out what's going on with this song, or we're gonna die. And I like you. I like you. I'm sorry. I don't want to die with you and be like forever. If there's ghosts or whatever, like be forever here.
Fair enough.
I
So we should look
wholeheartedly agree.
around.
I'm gonna take this picture and I'm gonna go do. If you guys want to come with me, that would be great. Cause honestly, I'm a little creeped out now. But if you want to show this picture to Veneer, maybe that would help something. Maybe it would like spark something in her brain. Or I don't know. I just don't know what to do, and I'm a little creeped out now.
Before we do that, which I will happily accompany you for, I'd like to get this, and Clara holds up the doll that she's still holding on to, out of
Did
the
we
way.
not stuff it in there? Okay, I thought we stuffed it
Oh,
in.
wait, did we
his
actually
mouth.
stuff it
I
in his
don't
face?
know. Did
I
we?
thought
Oh, he's just locked in a trunk, but with a
Okay.
gag.
Okay, I just thought we stuffed the doll into his mouth.
The good news, folks, is there's still 3 more inhabitants, so they're not the PCs, plus the child that they can harm in some other interesting way. Don't
And
mind me.
Clara holds the doll and casts produce flame and sets it on fire and just drops it on the floor.
Ouch.
If she cries over this, it will be your fault because nothing is going to
Says the
change
one
this.
who
We'll
just
take
lit
it.
it on fire?
You
We'll
were
take
both
it.
very insistent.
I mean, I was gonna bludgeon it to death, so I mean, this is a lot more efficient.
This is fine. It's fine.
It's all
And
fine.
I will burn this whole place down if I do not get out of here soon.
Oh well, that's a little bit
I'll
of an
take that into account.
escalation, but okay.
We slide
Good
from
to
one
know,
meme
though.
to another. Okay. So you're looking for Veneer with the drawing.
Unless we wanted to do something first, unless we wanted to talk to anybody else.
I mean, I'm about as investigative as yeah. I'll just start looking around, hoping I find something. I just start staring at walls, poking my finger into cracks, trying to make myself look useful.
Okay. You make your way back up. So you head up the staircase to the main floor, and the north room off the library is the one that she had identified as the scriptorium. And the door is unlocked when you arrive, and you can let yourselves in. Some boxed text for you, if you will. All around, fireflies float lazily like embers caught in the air. 3 writing desks sit against the north wall, with a sheepskin rug beneath each one. On one of the desks rests a book beside a stack of paper, along with a stoppered ink jar and a porcupine quill pen. Another desk has a leather case on it. At the third, Vernier continues with her scribing. A moldering tapestry hangs off-center on the west wall. To the southeast is a wood-paneled wall with a closed door. A weak yellow light emanates from underneath it. Vernier looks up as you come in. Can I help you?
Yeah, so I feel like we have to discuss some things.
I
that
locked
just-
someone in a box.
and I might have punched him beforehand.
I
So we're
had
just
nothing to
coming.
do with any of that.
That is true. We're coming clean so that there's no questions afterwards. So the Gelby's father started singing the song, and no longer was just humming it, it had words to it. So, and he didn't stop. I threw my shield. It didn't scare him, which he seems kind of like a wiry man, so like that was surprising. And so I punched him in the face.
Oh
To make
my.
him stop. But he stopped afterwards, and then Terry decided to throw him in the box. But that's not important. We'll get him out later.
I lifted him in. I didn't throw anyone.
Okay, fine. Gently placed. But take a look at this picture. Does this mean anything to you? Gelby drew this,
And which,
along with some other very disturbing images, I might add. And she says that she just thought of them.
and which one did you grab?
I grabbed the one with the man missing his foot.
Got it. Vernier looks at, oh my. I suppose it means to me that that poor young human has seen a great deal of trauma in her life.
I mean, there were other ones as well. There was a boy drowning.
Mm-hmm. And like
Oh.
a dog wolf creature thing with a hand in his mouth, like very disturbing things.
It
And
does sound like the poor creature. This must be her acting out some sort of trauma. Perhaps it's the loss of her mother. I understand among humans that can be very stressful.
And we didn't even ask. I feel awful. Humans have moms, right?
they do, yes,
Yes.
Usually.
Cool.
sometimes.
Sometimes it's wolves, but that's fine.
But okay, if it was okay, just if it was about her mom though, which I'm very sorry to hear about that, but then wouldn't it possibly be her mother in these situations and not a boy or a man? Like I mean, just saying, I don't know how you would process something like that, but I just feel like something is off here and I'm out of my depth.
Is it possible we were all very concerned with shutting what's his face up?
He started
From singing.
singing, and I don't like
Yes,
other
no, I
people's
agree.